All right, it's 6 o'clock. Michael, thank you, sir. We'll get the meeting started, so I'll call the meeting to order and, if you don't mind, we're gonna have, Miss Willie's gonna do the pledge for us and Miss Pam's gonna do the invocation. So if everybody'd rise, please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, we just thank you for the opportunity once again to come together and plan for the city of Mount Pleasant and make decisions that will be beneficial to the residents of our town and for those that are coming in the future. We just thank you so much for our staff across the board, and we just appreciate so much all the work they put into it. And I pray that this would be a great meeting and that they would get home and get some rest tonight.
Amen. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please, ma'am. And by the way, we've got Chastity here tonight in Schiffer's place, so thank you.
Ms. Knowles,
Here.
Mr. Davis, Mr. White,
Here.
Mr. Alderson, Miss Alderson,
She's here.
Miss Johnson.
Oh, I love
Sorry.
it.
Is one Mr.
That is great.
He didn't ever.
He did not.
Philip said, for everybody's, Philip walked in, he said, I don't know if I'm ready for tonight. So.
I'm talking today.
Oh, me. Approval and corrections for minutes of prior meetings. We've got two sets there, one from the study session from March the 12th and one from the regular meeting of March the 17th. So once everybody's had an opportunity to review those, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from.
Got it.
Yes.
We got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Wards, presentations, appointments. Philip, anything there?
There are none, Mayor.
Completion or review of unfinished business from other meetings?
There are none.
Monthly financial or budget report? Chastity?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Schiffer's out for a few weeks, and I'm filling in. If you have any questions, please feel free to call me at any time. We were able to send out your financials on 4/10 via email, so I hope you all were able to receive them and review them. Fund 110 is looking good year to date. We were at about a 92.3 collection of current property taxes, so that was really good work on the staff up front. We have a positive statutory net position in our proprietary funds, and that breakdown is also in your packets, along with capital projects and the cash analysis where it's landing right now. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me anytime, day or night, and we are expecting a large CCF grant payment within the next 30 days, I think, and an ARPA payout. So if y'all have any questions, I think we're looking good for this fiscal year.
Thank you.
Any questions, Chastity? Monthly report from city manager.
You wanna go back to yours, the mayor's report?
Me, Miss
Oh, shoot,
Jones.
they're usually
Yeah.
right there together. I'm sorry. I don't really have anything other than, Lori, we won't have the meeting before the Juneteenth, will we?
Yeah, we've got a couple.
Okay,
I don't,
but for everybody's information, you want to speak on that right quick, the Juneteenth?
Yeah, Juneteenth event will take place on June the 19th at Gardenia Park from the hours of 12 to 6. We want everyone to bring their lawn chairs and come out, play games. We will have all small Black-owned businesses. We have lots of food trucks. We're going to play Family Feud. And we're going to have music. It won't be live. We have a DJ. The Boys and Girls Club is going to take care of the kids in the kids zone. It's just going to be amazing. We're going to have a cakewalk and bingo. And what I'm saying now, I thank the committee members for helping me thus far. Come on, come on.
Thank you, Lori. I don't really have anything. It's been, thank everybody for doing the work on the budget with Philip, everybody on that. So, all right, now then, monthly report from city. Yeah,
But before, I guess we'll go with that. I'll make a motion to approve the monthly financial budget report as presented.
got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Philip?
Mayor and Commissioner, I don't have a lot this month, just a couple of bullet points. Community Cleanup Day was very successful. Many community volunteers removed a significant amount of plastic tires and other waste material. So that was a better than expected
Yeah.
turnout. It really was.
Thank you, Katie.
Moving on, the Parks and Rec. You know that we ordered the 2 new scoreboards. Staff, David, Brent, and Ted, they're up and they're operational. So they're in. Moving on to the next subject, road project. The Canaan Road project is complete and done. I don't think we paid for it yet, but waiting on the bill to come in.
Does look good. Looks good.
It does.
And I had a note here. I think Haywood wanting to spotlight a little bit. So from the IT department, cameras have been installed on the water plant production floor. This allows the plant staff to have a visual on all the components when they get alerts from the plant software. Starlink has been added. That's the redundancy for the internet at the water plant as well. So good job, Haywood and staff, on that.
Good job.
And the last thing I have is the state of the city. We always try to do an employee spotlight. This month was Brandon Roberts. He's a supervisor in the utility department, water. He's been here since 2007 and a good solid, shows up to work, does his job employee. That's my report this month.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Any questions for Philip? Special reports from other departments, wastewater,
I have no report.
awesome. Gas?
Gas, as we talked the other night, I'll start with the EDA gas application, grant application. It's in and just waiting on, and the mayor's actually signed a lot of documents. It's progressing well, so we'll see where that goes. And then, as we stated, we did do some repairs on our 2 gate stations, low pressure, south and north, and it's the regulators and the piping, so they've been installed.
Good.
That's all I have for gas.
Any questions on those 2? New business, ordinance 2026-1140, an ordinance to amend Title 18 of the Mount Pleasant Municipal Code relating to sewer use by repealing Chapter 2 in its entirety and replacing Title 18, Chapter 2 with a new chapter pertaining to sewer use.
So before we start, I'll give the same preface tonight that I gave on Thursday. These ordinances are really important, but really boring. So just bear with me for just a second. So this is your sewer use or your pre-treatment ordinance. We kind of switch back and forth between both names. The purpose of this ordinance is to set forth uniform requirements for the disposal of wastewater in the service area that Mount Pleasant serves with wastewater. This ordinance will be approved by TDEC. Once it is approved by the state of Tennessee, it is responsible for the enforcement of all federal, state, and local pretreatment regulations. As you'll see, this is a very technical document. It has been reviewed and revised by BARGE and by TDEC. It has also been preliminarily approved by TDEC, and we will seek that final approval after the ordinance passes in its final form. The changes from the last version of this ordinance are highlighted and or redlined in the draft that was in your packet. The most material changes are, number 1, the removal of actual number limits from tables A and B in the ordinance and posting them on a tab in your website. And this was a recommendation from TDEC. Adding continuously monitored pH violations to the list of noncompliance. Adding a requirement that if an industrial user monitors any regulated pollutant at the appropriate sampling location more frequently than required by the control authority, they have to report the results of that monitoring to y'all as well. Most of the changes are to correct TDEC rule references within the document. So there's a lot of changes that are highlighted that are just changing a parentheses to a .12, or, changing the name of a water department or things like that, typos. And this ordinance also approves the enforcement response plan that BARGE created for the city. That plan describes violations and indicates a range of appropriate enforcement options. It outlines which responses are appropriate and identifies the personnel who must indicate those responses. It also outlines the effective timeframes for taking actions. It streamlines the enforcement of all pretreatment regulations and promotes fair and consistent enforcement. The complete ordinance and the ERP will be in your packet, and the changes for both were highlighted or redlined. Basically, these are documents that are required changes by TDEC. We have to make the changes, and then we have to get the approval of those changes from them. So that's about all I can tell you about it.
Thank you for your work on this.
So,
After 50 pages?
yeah. So. But I do know the barge has reviewed every single change, and Victoria also has been very diligently monitoring this and all the changes, helping coordinate with TDEC. So we feel good about it.
Good. And with all the work that we just completed with the new sewer facility, we need to make this as excellent that we've got everything up to date and ready to roll. Any questions from anybody? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the ordinance 2026-1140 sewer use as presented.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. B, ordinance 2026-1142, stormwater. This will be the first reading and public hearing, an ordinance establishing a stormwater utility for the city of Mount Pleasant. Corey?
So the purpose of this ordinance is, like the mayor said, to create a stormwater utility within the incorporated city limits. A stormwater utility provides for the collection, treatment, storage, and disposal of stormwater, provides benefits and services to all property within the incorporated city limits. These benefits include, but are not limited to, the provision of adequate systems of collection, conveyance, detention, treatment, and release of stormwater, the reductions of hazards to property and life resulting from stormwater runoff, improvements in general health and welfare through reduction of undesirable stormwater conditions, and improvements to the water quality in the stormwater and surface water system and its receiving waters of the state, of which are managed by the stormwater administrator. To pay for the management, operation, maintaining, and improving the utility, the ordinance will also establish a graduated stormwater user's fee, which will be assessed and collected from each user of the stormwater utility provided by the city. All right, so this is where my expertise, I'll pass on to JJ in just a second, but there are different categories of the user fees. There are the residential category, and then there's the everyone else category. So the residential category has 3 tiers based off of lot size. If it's 10,000 square feet or less, it's $3.50 per month. If it's 10,000 to 15,000 square feet, it's $5.25 per month. If it's a lot that is more than 15,000 square feet and is residential, it's $7 per month. Then there is the non-residential. It's, commercial, industrial, everything else is a formula that's based off of the impervious square footage on that lot. So these two things are calculated differently, and I will give it to JJ in a second. But one more thing I want to say, on Thursday, y'all talked about, different ways to calculate for residential, maybe making a fair, saying that it would be more fair to have one equal number. That's something for y'all to decide, but I do want to say that there is reasons for the what we've put in front of you that JJ can explain better, but also if you do decide to do a different type of fee structure or no fee structure at all, or if you don't do this ordinance, if you wanted to do a different fee structure, we would need time to go back and rework the engineering and the numbers that got us to this point. So that's completely fine for y'all to do, but it's not something that we could do in between readings because these numbers are calculated in a certain way to be fair for our citizens. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. And now if JJ could explain how we got to the residential calculation and then also how you do commercial.
Same thing. Or
I think y'all have questions about how we got there instead of just going through the whole thing. From the time we had the first meeting about it, was understanding, going through the years of understanding with the model and everything else. The thing was that the basis that we based it off of was what are the known costs in tomorrow's money. Again, that's hard to tell too. And then the premises of that we're going after state revolving fund, 80% grant and 20% match. So the capital of this, and it was all based off of that 20% match. Now that's again, they're throwing a dart at the wall and hoping we get funded, but trying to do it the most get it started in the best way to maximize through the year. So that's what these numbers are based off of over a 5-year period, trying to recruit that capital. Now, when it gets into the fee structure and the setups, and JJ can explain that a lot better than me. But as far as the residential or even the non-residential developed property.
So I guess, how you want me to explain just the basis again of the residential, or do you have specific questions?
You hear?
Oh,
JJ, do you mind coming up to here?
oh,
Maybe
sure.
able to hear a lot better. Please.
So the fee structure, we calculated the ERU, which is equivalent residential unit. So basically, we started with we measured the amount of impervious area on a select sample size of residential lots throughout the city, and found that the average amount of impervious area was 5,871.
5781.
5,871 square feet. And so that number is important because that's the average amount of area that's going to be contributing stormwater per residential lot to the system that the city is trying to maintain. And so then from there, that gave us the average amount. And so then we broke that out, saying that, okay, there's unless you measure for every residential lot, and then it's not going to be perfectly fair or equal. And so we were like, how can we make this as equitable as possible? And then we did break it out into the 3 tiers, so that the smaller lots would pay slightly less, and then larger lots would pay more. And then we switched, then we based that off of the average parcel size, just to make it more simple for the administrative part, because keeping up with how much impervious area is on every single lot throughout the city, every single residential lot, which is like 18 or 1900 lots, is just too much for anyone to do. So we said it's easier to base it off of just the parcel size, which simplifies it across the board. That's already set, and like in tax data and all that can be pulled. And then the fee structure based off of that of if there's 10,000 square feet or less would be the 350, as Corey said, or the middle tier 10 to 15,000, and then 15,000 or above would pay the double the ERU, which is $7. And then the commercial, industrial, all other developed properties would fall into the other category, which is a table where we have actually calculated the exact impervious area on each commercial or every other property, and then their fee would be based off of the amount of impervious area that they have. And then again, just to simplify it to where you're not having to keep track of every square foot of impervious area on every other property, we put it into a table where they would fall into ranges. So if you're within the range of 25,000 to 30,000 square feet or something like that, then you would pay one fee. But if you're like 25,000 or less, you would pay the minimum fee, which is $15. And so that's where it all came from. And just like big picture, this is not necessarily the right way to charge this fee, and it's not the wrong way to charge this fee. It's just a way that is defendable, that we modeled after multiple other cities, and we looked at just other examples around Tennessee and specifically Middle Tennessee to see what other cities and counties are doing. So yeah, is that good? And then I can answer any specific questions.
And the assumption, back to residential, is that bigger lots usually have more.
Yes.
As well.
In general, yes, you could say that bigger lots have more impervious area than smaller lots. But yes, we are working in like averages or generalities here of like, it's not going to be fair totally across the board. So it's just, this is a equitable way overall to charge a fee.
I had somebody ask me, what happens after the 5 years? So we're talking about a 5-year thing. So then what happens? Do we relook at it and see are we bringing in enough? Because that was the concern of what happens in 5 years if all of a sudden then it's, amplified by 100.
Yes, so we wrote it into the ordinance that every year, like annually, it will be reassessed. And so, like, I know there's lots of annexation or different things happening in development. And so all of that could be taken into account for like a year from now. If it went into effect today, then a year from now, any of that would be additional residential and maybe non-residential people that are paying in now. Then the fee could, like the projected fee for year 2 could be reduced if there's more people paying in to cover the costs of the anticipated projects that are coming down the road.
So the plan would be even after, I heard 5 years, so that's in the
Yes.
summer, right?
So
So even after that, the same reasoning would be held, that that stands with this ordinance, that, yeah, okay.
5 years is to try to get to the match.
That was
Yeah.
the goal between, to put the structure in place, is how do we get to that match to go after grant funding?
Right. Okay.
'Cause it's tomorrow's money, JJ, tell me if I say something wrong, but when you put it at the engineering perspective of tomorrow's money, and that's hard to guess, is about $15 million from the study, the 2 tributaries. So a 20% match, that's what the capital would bring over a 5-year period.
Other questions, Lori, anything?
No, I just had questions over the fees. Like others have said, people had quoted different things. But with the phone calls that I got, we were able to get an understanding.
Mike?
Well, I do have reservations on this, Mayor, but if this commission tonight is ready to vote, I'm okay with it. But, if we want to defer this to next month, that we can look at this, and there may be, somebody may come up with even a better idea of how to do this. So, it's not like we got to do it in the next, we put this off for so many years or whatever. So another month won't hurt us but if y'all want to go ahead with what we got right now,
May I give a suggestion? If you want to listen. So I've talked to a lot of people, sorry.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna go through the rest of the
Apologize,
commission
Mayor.
first, and I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay.
Ms. Willie?
I think I'm about where Mr. Davis is. I would like to just defer it so we can to next month, because I still have questions. And I would like to sit down with Philip and Corey maybe.
Yeah.
So,
Ms. Pam?
I feel like we've been talking about this for a really long time. We spent a lot of time on it during the city planning meeting, and we had a very thorough discussion of it. I'm comfortable with going through with it now, but it's up to the rest of the commission.
I'll tell y'all where I am. I've talked with Philip about it a number of times, and the reality of this is we're left with little choice. We've got, I'm just gonna use Halong. Okay? If we went up and paved Halong right now, that road would be in bad shape again in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality of it is there is a blue line stream running under that road. And it's just reality. Ms. Martin has spoken about, even I know where you live over on Cherry. You're not even really in the area, but it does cause some problems over there. If you get over on Florida, there is a problem. In the past, and it wasn't any of this current commission's gig, but there's a laundromat with a blue line stream running right under it. And if definition of blue line is go walk to the back of the building and go look down in that creek and you see little fish swimming. And then you go on down a little further, and then there's a church down off of
It's Railroad Street.
Railroad. And there's water runs under it. And I think the city is in a position, if we want to repair our roads and do them once instead of multiple times, then we'd have left with little choice but to try to come up with a way to do this. Now, I've had conversations with Philip about this, and I'm not speaking for Philip on this. But I'm going to be along with Mike and with Willie in that I'm okay with us deferring this, because this is not going to be something that's just going to be for a year or a one-time project. It's not like we knew that the sewer project was going to be 18 to $20 million, but it was a one-time boom. And we knew that, and we knew we had 40 years to pay that back. Well, this is 40 years of this being there forever. And I am not opposed at all. What, in the grand scheme of this whole project and the knowing the fact that it's going to last much longer than my lifetime, I'm okay with deferring it for 30 days and giving Philip some real time to work with JJ and some others on what everybody feels is equitable to everybody that's in this community. And I'm okay with that, because this isn't something that's just, like I said, a one-time deal. This is forever. And I want everybody to be comfortable with this. I'm disappointed that we had a open meeting just about this and had so few people show up. And then from what I'm hearing, everybody's complaining, well, nobody showed up, and we did it at a time people could attend, and we did everything we could to try to make sure that people could come and hear it, and they chose not to. So,
And it's been on the website.
Right.
so I'm gonna be in the group that what's 30 days,
Right.
and let's get this right. Philip?
Yes, sir. So many years, this, like the direction, identifying the problems, we've identified them, we understand them. And you have a hard decision to make collectively. I've realized through this that you're not gonna please everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's good to have other options and what those may would be. So if you want us to, we will bring you back different options on that so you can make an informed decision. The good thing, I guess, about this is that been there a long time, and if we can take the time to, I would really like to see you guys be all in agreement on this, because we're not going to please everybody. We know
Right.
that.
No.
But an agreement on a way to move forward, and it's a big decision for the community.
I think we can,
Yeah.
I think we can too.
But
even the citizens.
okay.
Yeah.
But no, I would agree 100%. Defer. Let us study different options, what that may look like, and bring them back to you.
Yeah.
Just like I said, mostly what I got was about the fees. That was
That's what I was gonna add. It would be helpful to us to have like direction of what you're looking for or issues that, and Mr. Davis brought some at study sessions. So I know we're looking at different ways to calculate.
Yeah.
Is there any other information y'all could give us of what would feel more fair to you?
I'm gonna leave that up. I think of, me personally, I think of city manager.
So one thing we can look at is, don't do a utility, do it through property tax. Columbia does it, Brentwood does it, Spring Hill does a utility. You want us to explore that through property taxes. Then you don't have a utility. Now you looked a lot into it, but then you may not have the depreciation of your expenses.
That's the
Right.
concern.
That's-
Yep.
The financial side of it, not having that depreciation.
But they can explore that. It's an option, right?
Yes, yeah, it hit hard.
So rates never would go down if your utility, because you got to depreciate it 15 million out over the useful life, and you do the math, that's probably 300,000 a year. Well, that ain't even the budget right now.
Right.
There, you've got a wave of things. So I like the fact that study it even a little more
Yeah.
and get JJ, because it sprung on you all of a sudden, right? Is there other equitable ways? Is there other ways of doing it?
And that way, I think, Philip, if we do 30 days, we looked at it again, if this the best way
Try to have you
possible,
something in 30
yeah,
days.
this is the best way, you know, defer it and to come back and this is what we got, this is where we at.
That is 30 days realistic period.
I mean, I think so, because, of course, Philip can, I guess,
That, I think in 30 days, here where I am, that Philip and JJ, Philip's out for the rest of the week attending a city manager conference, and I appreciate you doing that, Philip. But, and then everybody gets some time with Philip, Corey,
Mhm.
once JJ and Philip have had some time to come up with an alternative. And then we'll get it back in 30 days. If we're not ready, it won't be on the agenda. Is that
I
fair?
think that's what we're getting at. I think we could, in the next 30 days, come up with some alternate ways, but as far as like actually applying, getting the information and the numbers matched,
I don't know that it can happen
I
either.
don't know.
But for right now, let's just, I would entertain a motion.
60 days, it won't hurt us.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm perfectly okay with this decision y'all are leaning towards. I just wanted to make sure we weren't putting it on.
Well, I think it's-
expectation.
JJ has got a massive spreadsheet that he's got a lot of data in, and that's, I can throw concepts at him all day long, but he's got to dig back in that spreadsheet that layers and layers. Kenny sent it through email, it's so large.
I looked at some of that, it is,
It's
and
very large.
it's,
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, JJ?
Yes, in 30 days, we could change the numbers to different fees and present all different options with that, and then the property taxes.
Well, I would need Schiffer to get back to work. Schiffer?
Well, I'm not for the
I
property
bet you
tax.
she's watching.
No.
I don't want you to explore the property tax. I don't. I just,
No, I don't either.
Okay.
I think this needs to be a line item.
Don't explore it.
And I've talked to a lot of people, talked to people at Music on the Porch about it, and the only things I've heard were people that were told completely erroneous.
yes.
It's gonna cost $2,000 or $200 a month.
Yep.
And nobody has said $3 is a problem, or $5 is a problem. So, I mean, I'm fine with going, I mean, you're right,
Yeah.
it's something, it's a big deal, and if we need to take another month, but I think we've done so much work.
We have.
And it's $3.
Would y'all want us to explore like a set fee across the board residential? Explore that? Or
I
just
think
get
then you're
options?
gonna get all the people with the 10,000 square lots going, what the heck am I paying the same as somebody with 5 acres? You know, it's like, I think what you came up with in my brain is a really good equitable amount, but
Really?
And I just think too, with all the phone calls that's been given out this week or calling, it will give them another chance to ask more questions. So we're giving them more time to come either talk to you, talk to us, and talk to our committee.
I,
Yeah.
Just try to get the word out more and let it be the right word.
It's
Did-
not a time
Communication
limit,
board.
is it?
Okay. Lord,
No, it's not time limited. I want to get it right.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I was just asking, was it a time limited grant?
No.
No.
JJ?
Thank you, JJ.
Change it all.
Appreciate it. It might not change. It might not change at all. Maybe those people could call and come and talk to
but they
Philip.
didn't come tonight.
We give them
And they
30 more
didn't.
days.
Yeah,
That's right.
and I want to thank the folks that have been answering on Facebook and giving the
Yeah, thank you
correct
all.
information.
Thank
It's much appreciated.
All right. With that being said, would anybody like to make a motion? Wait, Corey, let me ask you a question. This is a ordinance and it is the first reading. Should we have anybody from the public if they'd like to speak to it, understanding that we're getting ready to vote for a deferral?
You can, it doesn't hurt. It's not a public hearing, but it's, if anyone signed up on that sheet to talk about this.
Is
it's a
anyone
good
signed
time.
up to speak on it?
Okay,
Would you want to do it now or you want to wait till later?
Yes, so you have.
Come right ahead, Mr. Boyd. Come right on up if you don't mind. 3 minutes, please, sir.
Okay. Let's synchronize our hitting the button. Timer's been going off. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the button now. First of all, I had a number of questions about this, and I called JJ today, and he went through some specifics, answered questions, very cooperative, explained things, and eased my mind, and I was checking off the list. It was very, very, very helpful. One of the concerns I had was what was the sunsetting. I thought this was a 5-year project. Once everything's built, you're down to O&M costs and in a reserve fund. And so the fee should drop down. I saw nothing in the ordinance about that. Then it explained, this is a long-term project. There are other areas to look at and so forth. So I just pulled that off the table of concerns. But I did some homework, and I'll pass these out. My concern, in my past life, I worked with municipalities, airports, hospitals, universities, in funding large parking systems, telling what they needed and how to pay for it. In particular, working with municipalities, one of the things I learned is they're different. Municipalities are, one of the things that popped up during all the public discussions was fairness, 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 fairness. And whenever I saw the city leaders starting compromising on something that could be defended as fair, people started losing confidence, and I could see the ripple effect of that. So I have a concern about the tiered thing. I can find no justification, I'd be glad to hear it, for a tiered thing other than political expediency. You can have a justification for charging everybody the same. You can have a justification for charging people with large lots less because they're contributing to absorbing the water and they have no more runoff than somebody else. They're helping the problem, not hurting the problem. I said this the other night. I haven't heard any justification for arbitrarily assigning different fee levels. Now, what you got in front of me was a very quick, based on just getting a clarification from JJ today. I backed into a number that is a fee schedule. If you charge the same thing to residential folks through the next 5 years, everybody the same, it's already calculated right there. That's how much the fees would be per month and per year. It's not complicated. The work is already done. So please consider that. As a former consultant, I spent 20 years trying to keep chief folks out of trouble. And you're my hometown folks now, and I'm just trying to offer my experience to try to keep you out of trouble. You've done a lot of work. Philip's worked a whole lot. Everybody's worked really hard to make this happen. And I hate to see criticism that this is just not fair. It doesn't just come from the folks with small lots. It's going to come from other folks. Mine's up. How's yours? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
JJ.
Katie?
I do have other topics that I wanted to speak like during a general public comment. So can I have like 2 minutes later for that so it doesn't run into the stormwater?
These are different things.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, totally.
Katie Martin, 206 South Cherry Street. I feel like that the fee structure is actually okay. I do understand where people with larger lots that haven't maybe like paved it up to heaven might have a problem, like, with that. But I think it would probably be more simple to have an appeals process than to like go and, I don't know, you're the professional, but I'm pretty sure you're not cheap. And I'm pretty sure, city money is paying for that. And I don't know, like, if you assessed it property by property, you would have to hire staff. You would have to have a place to keep the records of that. And that would be more expensive, I feel like, in the long run. So I feel like the work is done. And if people have a problem, like with the fee they're paying, they could maybe file an appeal, and you have appeal standards, and maybe they could submit like more detailed pictures of their property where it's like, hey, this is all green space. Like, I don't feel like that's fair. And then that might, I don't know. I feel like that would just be a lot more simple because, I get what you're saying, but I have a small house on 0.25 acres. So my whole yard, I have a lot of green space for my little lot because my house is small. And I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I just think that redoing this whole thing, or like, I don't know, trying to go to individual lots and say, here's your individual price, or I don't think that's right. And I also don't think that one size fits all is right whenever people who live modestly should not have to, pay like the same amount as someone with a large lot that has just as much, contributions to stormwater issues. And that's just all I have on that. I hope it made sense. It was just, I didn't prepare anything, but all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Entertain a motion to defer. Sounds like we may have,
I move that we defer ordinance, 2026-1142 for the next 60 days.
60
30.
or 30?
30.
That's what we said.
No, we said 30.
Why don't we do 30? If we need to do it one more time, we can, Lord.
Okay. For 30 days to be accessed, and then maybe more.
Okay, we got a motion for a 30-day deferral. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a number of seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2026-1143, stormwater management, first reading. An ordinance establishing a stormwater management program for the city of Mount Pleasant.
So before I start, I will say these ordinances are about the same topic, but they are
Yes.
different. So the purpose of this ordinance is to grant the city the authority to exercise management and general regulation over stormwater. It follows a state law process to grant this authority. This is not something that the city has to do because the city does not have an MS4 permit, but it gives the city control over standards for stormwater control, which benefits the public health. This is a proactive step for Mount Pleasant. This ordinance, again, is separate and distinct from the stormwater utility ordinance. It would support a stormwater utility if you move that direction, but it will also help with all new construction, regardless of whether the utility is established, by developing regulations and standards for management of stormwater on all new projects. So this is basically setting a standard for new construction, making sure that we don't exacerbate the stormwater problems that we already have. There are fines and fees that would be assessed for violation of this ordinance, and these fees could be used towards the stormwater utility as well, if you move forward with that. This ordinance, like we said, could be approved on first reading tonight, even regardless of whether you move forward with the other one. And it would help mitigate any further issues caused by stormwater. And JJ, anything else to add?
Yeah, I would just say, like, currently, can y'all hear? Currently, if someone comes in to develop a new Walmart or anything, or a new subdivision, the city does not have a whole lot to stand on of like requiring certain standards. And this ordinance will put specific regulations in place that we can specifically point back to and say, you have to meet these standards of engineering practice for stormwater management. And so then moving forward, the problem is not getting worse than it already is when the development continues happening. And so you're mitigating the problem moving forward, regardless of like the other ordinance, which is just a funding mechanism to fix the problems that are already in place. So.
All righty. Here again, as Corey said, this is directly tied to the ordinance. We just decided to defer for 30 days. Mike?
But Mayor, this here is something that needs to be done, and it's good. And I'm, as far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to move forward on this one.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
To do it.
Got to do it.
Anybody else?
Do what?
Anybody on this want to speak?
Anybody want to speak to it?
I can without having to even get up. There were provisions in the 1143 that answered some of my concerns in 1142, so I'm.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to comment on this? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Go ahead, Willie.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
I make a motion that we accept ordinance 2026-1143 as presented.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Property tax write-offs, and Corey provided us with a copy of this. It's just for everybody's information. I'm not going to read off the names. We don't have the names, which is great. Thank you. But it's this is great. As of right now, it's only $3,126. So that's great. So, Corey, do we need to have a motion and vote to approve this as of right now? Okay. Entertain a motion to, if it gets down to it, to write off the $3,126.
Make a motion, we approve the 2015 property tax write-off.
Got a motion? We have a second.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Pope Lane bid. Philip?
Mayor and Commissioner, I think the bid was in your package. We did get a, official letter from Collier Engineering recommending the low bid. It was a good responsive bid of $137 to Rogers Crew. So that's the recommendation and vetted by Collier Engineering.
And just for everybody's information in the audience, it's $125,000 less than the next bid,
Or the,
which kind of strikes me a little odd for that size project, but entertain a motion to approve.
Maybe
Yeah,
let's say something.
yeah, sure,
You know,
certainly.
I hate not to vote, I'll be honest. But for the record, I disclose a personal interest in this matter as I reside on the road that is subject of this paving project, which may have a financial impact on my property. I therefore recuse myself from discussion and voting. It's
Okay.
just because some people will say, hey, you're a commissioner, you got, and I just,
Okay, fair.
Mayor, may I add something to that?
Certainly.
I disagree with you, Mr. Davis. And here, and y'all heard me say it before. When we looked at this, we don't have a street plan, but the premises behind the three roads, Canaan's done, Poe Lane, and then Mount Joy will be the next. If y'all approve next year's budget, it was from, I ain't gonna call it land grabs, annexation from the 80s, and we haven't touched them. So you living that road had nothing to do with that, and we talked about their budgeting. So those are the roads, they're some of the worst in the city that hasn't been touched. So I think, appreciate your thoughts, but I disagree with that.
I appreciate you, man.
Well, Philip and I started talking about doing some paving, there were a couple of roads that individually, or that particularly that we spoke about, and that was Canaan and Zion. We've not touched them since we annexed that property into the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. So that's the reason that those two were chosen, and if you ride down them, you understand why. So, all right. Entertain a motion to accept the bid.
Make a motion that we accept Pope Lane bid.
Got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion, yes. Yes, the low bid, which was Rogers Group.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. TDEC ARPA closeout and change order number 3.
Mayor and Commissioner, this is the project was on the north end, from the tile plant to the end of our system, the ARPA project. The original, this is the adjusting final change order that's going down. You don't see that much. But the original contract or the bid was 1.7, I can't say that many numbers, low 1.7 million. And then this order is for 1.5 just in quantities. So that is the final on that. And then of course our max will be less than was originally. But it's the final adjusting change order for that project.
Any questions for Philip? Being none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the TDEC ARPA closeout and change order number 3.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have added one agenda item. And we have been participating in this for a number of years, and Corey asked us to add this. It will be officially on the,
Technically, you need to vote to add it onto the agenda.
Okay,
First. So this is the national opioid settlement. You'll have seen various settlements come through. It's a vote to participate in the settlement for 6 remnant defendants and authorize them to execute it. It's not very much money.
I know, I saw it.
Okay. But I think this is the proper process to add this onto the agenda.
So we need somebody to make a motion to add this to the agenda, please, as, G.
Mayor, I make a motion to add G as presented by our attorney.
Perfect. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now I would entertain a motion that we accept that.
I make a motion that we accept G that was presented by our attorney.
There we go. Do we have a second?
I second G.
Second G. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. General comments from citizens. Katie, you're up again.
Katie Martin. We choose it.
Well, Katie Martin, 206 South Cherry Street. I was looking through the charter of Mount Pleasant and trying to compare it to like what TCA also gives you power to do when it comes to developments and regulations. And I'm not by any means have any qualifications to be making any type of statements. So these aren't statements of like, I know, these are more like questions that, I mean, I don't necessarily need an answer to, but if you would ponder them and maybe email me if you feel led. But it would, I think if you, especially regarding developments and like things like utility for those developments, like specifically step systems. I was wondering, within your powers, do you have the power to make an ordinance that says that you don't want those specific systems within your city limits if there's availability to connect to your sewer system? And from what I've looked at, it was basically saying like if John Mayer Builder still had his proposal lingering, then it probably wouldn't be a great idea to do something like that then, because it could be targeted to a specific development. But if like a city was proactive in doing so, I would like to know if that's within your authority to do. And you don't have to answer me like immediately, or I just would like an answer at some point if you feel led. But also I think it would be a great idea for citizen education to like maybe pull the specific parts of the charter out that address your powers in that area, as well as like what authorities you have under the Tennessee Code annotated regarding, you know, your powers for development and what they will allow you to regulate, and like put them side by side so that citizens, in a palatable way, not like in a 400-page or, download this 400-page document and, you'll find it all there. Like if it was just palatable for the everyday person to see what's within your scope, what's not, I think that would be really awesome to do. And you might be able to like combat some conflict later on when it comes to rezoning and, annexation and decentralized wastewater systems. Also, I am thrilled that Mayor White is on the regionalization planning thing. See, I'm just going to call it the thing. So I would like to know if there's updates available on those efforts. And when they are, I would look forward to hearing it.
There are no updates as of right now.
Gotcha.
We have yet to have the first meeting. They're working through all the lawsuits and all that stuff right now. So there's no action for us to take at this time.
Is your committee the same as the one with the
Yeah, it's way down the road. Do it.
The Duck River Watershed Planning Partnership, is that the same regionalization?
Yes and no. I am on one that the governor asked me to serve on for more regionalization of how do we do water.
Because I know that the DWR, that one, they have a subcommittee for regionalization. I didn't know if that's the one.
That's part of the Duck River
Watershed Planning Partnership.
whatever it's called now. I forget.
It's not that subcommittee for regionalization.
No, this is one that the governor set up individually for more regionalization who's in this area. So All right, next we have James A. Gray, and I'm sorry, but I gotta call him Moose. Come on up.
This has nothing to do with what
No,
discussion on it or what, get a approval on it. I run a towing service here in town. I pay city taxes and county taxes. And another company does the same thing. So about a month, maybe 2 months ago, there was another towing company put on that doesn't have anything in their city limits. Doesn't pay any city taxes. No towing lots. He told you what he comes in and pulls out, he told it to a different county. He told it to Lawrence County. So I asked the chief about when he 4 year put him on, that told him we could take care of everything, us and the other company. And somehow he still went and got on. But then I used to run in Columbia 4 or 5 years ago. So they took another bid when D&D got on. So I asked my son, I said, what's the reason we didn't get a bid? And he said, well, you don't have a towing lot in the city limits of Columbia. So they didn't send your bid out. So this company here needs to get them a lot in city limits, Mount Pleasant, somewhere, pay the city taxes like we do, and the county taxes. I know he's paying me in Columbia because he's got a place in Columbia. And he tried to get on to the state department here in Murray County, and the state wouldn't let him on. They made him get into Lawrence County because he lives in Lawrence County. That's where his towing lot is. So that's where I'm at on that. I just want y'all's opinion on it. Do we need to leave him on it or make him get a lot or what? I think I've talked to Philip, I talked to Bill, and her about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a chance to speak at after last meeting. I think what he's asking from y'all is a policy that you have to be on the towing list. You have to be your towing lot has to be in the city limits. I think that's his request. It used to be an unofficial policy from what they found, but it's not a written policy.
not a written policy, right?
So Chief Ha's here and he's probably prepared to speak about it. We can, if you want us to, we can study it. I know, Mr. Gray's talked to me about it. I talked to Michael about it. And if you want him to speak about it, he can, or we can.
I tell you what, everybody's got a voice, okay, so it's just me talking. I'd like for Philip and Corey and Chief Hay to sit down and look at what the policy should be, Bruce. And
But like I said, though, it's not fair for us and the other company paying
I
the
can't-
taxes and he's not paying nothing. Coming in and taking work that we could pay our taxes with, out of county and putting it in his pocket.
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
That was my concern.
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
Thank you.
Is that fair to everybody?
What I suggest.
Everybody? Okay. Bruce, we'll get back to you.
I'm not supposed to talk.
It's not
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
okay,
agenda.
next one, discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay.
30 days. All right, that's everybody that signed up.
Yeah, Corey.
Can I have a comment?
You didn't sign up.
I'm not a citizen either, so. I know that I was happy to hear that like JJ was really helpful to everyone, asking questions, but what I would like to, if citizens have questions about anything that we talk about, these ordinances, the proper channel would be to talk to Philip or to one of the commissioners and have them direct the questions to us. That keeps us from, as the like consultants using public funding to pay for private questions. So that's our proper channel for future things, is to go through them or Philip or someone in the city office. We can direct it out other way.
That's fair.
I just wanted to, before JJ got 100 calls, I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, or you too,
Yeah.
because they do charge them. I mean, they charge, that's how they make a living. So I completely agree. All right.
You didn't charge the JJ.
Pam, you got anything?
I'm really excited about the fact that the Boys and Girls Club is partnering with Connection Church to do their VBS in July. And they're going to be having it during the daytime, which is not normal because most time churches have it at night. But I'm really, really excited about that. And to have those kids have an opportunity to be loved on and cared for and have a great time. And so I thought it'd be good to get it out there now so we can start thinking about that for our own kids and the other kids in town. And hopefully we can get word out to the schools and stuff. But I'm really excited about that.
Lori?
I would like to have a discussion. I have gotten a lot of phone calls about the blasting and the cracks, and I've actually gone to some of the houses, and I have pictures of the cracks in the houses from the blasting, and the fire marshal's response when they reach out to them, and the insurance's responses when they reach out to them because they don't have earthquake insurance. They can't help them. Fire marshal told them just they ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just been a bad experience. In fact, state fire marshal. A couple of citizens have told me that they are selling their property and that they're moving because they can't continue to pay for a house that's cracking apart because of blasting in the city. That's a problem.
Mike, got anything?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for everybody for being here. We appreciate everybody's input on this, and we'll keep working on this stormwater because we got to figure out how to pave some roads and not do it normal. Thanks for everybody being here. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Thanks, everybody. Try to get home safely.